What's up, people? I am back for another video. Today, I am reviewing, in my opinion, probably my favorite gang movie, The Warriors, which the different gangs about in this movie I love it. I love the aesthetic of the movie, the music, and the fact that, when sometimes it would transition like a comic book. It's like drawn like a comic book at times, and I didn't remember that because it's been a little bit since I've watched this movie. But I do remember, I remember that this movie is basically just a giant, the Warriors being accused, because there's this big gang summit at the start of the movie, of murdering leader of the Rifts, Cyrus, and they're framed by the Rogues, the leader of the Rogues, Luther, and basically the Rifts put like a hit on them. It's essentially like a bounty, and all different gangs are trying to come after them, and I really like that. This movie is I love on the run movies where characters are on the run and they have to try to survive different gangs in different parts of New York. And that's one of these movies, that's what this is for. It's like that aesthetic. And it's perfect. The different gangs. You had the baseball Furies, which I thought they were cool, even though they got their ass whipped pretty good. You had the Orphans, which were like a low-level gang. You had the Lizzies, which is the female gang. You had the Rogues, which is essentially they were like the real antagonists of the movie. And then you had the main Rifts they would cut to every back. And then you had this DJ lady, DJ Swan. I think she was some of my favorite parts of the movie when they would cut to her, almost like giving commentary to what's going on. And the music is great. It's just an all-around awesome movie. Yeah, it's going to be one of those, you're not going to necessarily like the characters because I'm not into the whole gang thing. It's like with mob movies. The people themselves aren't really good people because of the shit they do. But I can look over that and I can still objectively say this is a great movie. And at the end of the day, the brotherhood is almost like what it's about, I think, and the camaraderie and them trying to protect each other. I think that's more what it's about than, yeah, they're not necessarily the greatest people, but that's fine. Probably I'd give this film a 10 out of 10. It's such an awesome film. The pacing's great. The different gangs and different, just all around awesome film. Tomorrow I will be doing Ginger Snaps 2. I think it's called something else, but I'm just going to say Ginger Snaps 2 for now. I'll try to review that probably the same time, like early in the day tomorrow. But besides that, let me get started here. Hold on. This boy's clogged. Okay, got it. Oh shit. Anyway, so the movie opens up. Basically, this is where we get the big meeting of the gangs. Cyrus is basically proposing that all the gangs essentially come together because they would outnumber the cops. And most of the gangs go for it. And I love the opening too. You just see each gang leaving their territory and just all converging. Very cool opening. You have the music going. The grittiness. I think that's mostly another thing I love is the grittiness of it. And there's a couple actors in there I recognize. One of the Warriors you saw early on, he was in The Thing. He was in The Thing. So there's a couple actors in there you might recognize. But yeah, it's not a lot of known actors, so I think that's what makes it work too. Is it makes it feel more real. It wasn't just these big name actors. These are all a lot of them. I think there's some in there definitely I recognize. But yeah, so they all come together. Cypress proposes, that if the gangs come together and do a truce, that they could essentially make New York their city. Luther, one of the rogues, ends up shooting him shooting Cyrus. And while this is going on, police are showing up, crazy opening. Like, all these guys are running. You just got all this chaos. And I thought that scene was pretty good. And then during the chaos, Luther, leader of the Rogues, frames the Warriors for the murder. And yeah, so they pin the murder on the Warriors, and this is what starts where we get a couple of the Warriors getting jumped, and a couple of them having to run, and they don't know that they got a hit, and this is where we get our DJ Swan basically announcing what's going on. I love, like I mentioned, like every time they would cut to her, just kind of giving commentary what's going on. Like, it's like, oh, we're telling you a story right now. You know, I do like that. Like, it has, like, even, like, the opening where it starts off with, like, the tales of these warriors, and then it has, like, this comic book feel, because, like, there's, like, it's comic book art, while, you know, it's art put on the movie, but it looks really good, and it still looks really good. So, the warriors are now framed for the murder, and they're trying to get back to Coney Island, which is their turf. And then they are first attacked by the ACs. I think they're I forgot what the T was, but I'm just gonna call them the ACs. So they're attacked the ACs at the train station. They manage to get away, but a couple of the warriors end up getting separated, and essentially Ajax group, who's like the leader, goes to the orphans turf, which the orphans are like this small time gang, and initially asks the orphans to let them stay there, and he agrees, but his girlfriend, I think Meredith is her name, you know, mouths off and tries to start a fight, but because she tries to have one of the warriors give her their vests, and the warriors refuse. So, and the leader of the orphans tries to, like, force them, and they refuse, so they leave. But she runs with them, and the orphans show up to try to get her back, and they throw one of the warriors throws a Molotov, causes a fire, and they split, and she basically goes with the warriors now, or Ajax group. And then now with the other group, they get... I love those moments in the film. Like, yeah, because the other group gets attacked by the baseball gang, the baseball Furies, which I love their look, and just the creativity they put into with the gang, and the risks were cool. Like, it was all like each gang had their own thing. You know, you had the other gang called the Punks, you see later. They're like roller skating gang. You have like the baseball gang. You have the female gang. And then you have like the risks, which are like the black gang. And then you have the warriors. It's like each have their own thing, and I think that's what I like too, is the creativity they put. They didn't just make this a generic gang film, you know? So yeah, the baseball Furies attack the other group of the warriors, but they managed to escape. But while heading to Union Station, one of the members decides to stay back because they see a girl, like, a woman sitting by herself in the park, and he's like the rapey guy, essentially, because there's like, even when he first sees Meredith, he, like, grabs her, and it's, like, trying to set that up. But he ends up getting a little aggressive with the woman because he decides to stay back and try to hook up with her while the group keeps going. And they decide to go back to try to save him, and it turns out that the woman is an undercover cop, and he ends up getting arrested, and, you know, and they had to go. So... Oh, yeah, there's a guy, or one of the warriors also gets, like, because there was a fight at the train station where they're, like, running away from cops, which is a fun little chase scene. And one of them wrestles with a cop, and the cop, like, because they were near where the fucking train, and they fell on the tracks, and they get ran. It's crazy. Like, and it's just an awesome film. Like I said, there's not a lot I could really say besides, you know, it's a fun film with a fun gimmick, and they managed to make it work. So, Ajax manages. Oh, before that, the other group of the Warriors, they see these group of girls who the girls lure them back to their hotel, and it turns out the girls are are actually a gang of their own and try to kill the Warriors, because they want the money. And they want in on the bounty, but they managed to escape. And so the group they reconvene together at the station where Ajax is getting followed by the punks. These roller skate gang. And yeah, so we have a big fight there, and that was a pretty good fight. It was like in the bathroom, everyone's like fighting and kicking ass, and even Deborah gets in the fight. And that's the thing, it's just an awesome movie. So after beating them up, Ajax gets a blade from one of the punks, and they make it to Coney Island the next morning. And the movie's pace pretty good too. Like it kind of goes like even from the jump. Like, oh, you have Cyrus's death. Oh, hunt is on for these guys. Oh, while this is going on, they would like cut back to the riffs every now and then, asking, oh, what's the status and all. And when one of the last times they did that, another gangster shows up and basically tells them the truth that it was Luther who killed Cyrus, not the Warriors. So the next morning they make it to Coney Island, but the rogues, Luther and the rogues, are already there. And this is where we get the iconic Warriors come out to play. Like, that's where we get that from. And they confront each other, and Ajax challenges Luther to like a one-on-one. Luther refuses, tries to shoot him. Fucking Ajax with a perfect shot to the wrist with the knife, and then the Riffs show up, and the Riffs acknowledge, y'all basically Awesome Bat. He acknowledges that the Warriors are badasses, and basically tells them, yeah, you can go. We know who did it. And they don't show it, but it's pretty much implied that the Riffs kill the Rogues. They don't show it, but you hear the Riffs scream, not the Riffs, the Rogues screaming for a bit, and then they cut to you have DJ Swan talking about how the hit is off, and then you see the Warriors kind of stand together in victory. You see it's like that they set up Ajax and Meredith as a couple, and but just overall it's a really good film. I love the grittiness of it. They really showcase this was New York in the 70s, essentially. Maybe not obviously that over the top, but, I love the opening, the frame job, and then I love On the Run movies. I mean, John Wick 2 is that's pretty much an On the Run movie, right? Where the Bourne movies where this characters are on the run, and they have to try to dodge multiple fucking targets, and that's what we got here. And I thought it was pretty good the way they showcased all these different gangs, and all these different gangs had their own thing going on. Baseball Furies were baseball guys, so they had baseball bats and stuff. Punks had roller skates. The girls, where they were a girl gang, and obviously they did the setup of, oh, these horny guys, let's, use our sexual prowess, and that would happen. Each gang had their own fucking thing. Because one of the Riffs actually had martial arts skills. So during the scuffle in the beginning of the film, one of them was using legit fucking martial arts in the fight. So it's just I love how each gang had their own thing, and just it made such for an interesting film. Even if I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of these guys as people, but you can it's the camaraderie that ends up, I think, is a big part of the movie that works. So overall, awesome film. Definitely recommend it. It's only an hour and a half. The music's good. I love the little moments where they show scenes and as almost drawn like a comic book. Is very well done. So awesome. Pretty much can say awesome, iconic film. So there you go. But tomorrow, make a mention. I would say Leprechaun. Ginger Snaps 2. And then I think I might try to do something Sunday. I don't know what yet. Either like maybe we'll do Snow Beast a day early and do it on Sunday instead of Monday. We'll see. Or I'll come up with something else and then Snow Beast will be on Monday. But as usual, I'm gonna peace out here. Uh, Warriors is a 10 out of 10 film. Go watch it. So, cheers. But fuck Joe Biden, fuck Kamala Harris, peace.